Welcome back to Prairie Farm, Michigan on Farming Simulator 25. It's episode 10 with me, MrSealyp. There's an add-on to this today. I do talk about some things in today's episode, as I often do, chat about things that go on in my life, which some viewers may find disturbing. What I will say is viewer discretion is advised. It's nothing horrendous, nothing awful, but just as a warning to people. I was going to edit it all out and try and rejig the video, but I thought, no, you know what, it's on my mind, something I'm talking about, so I left it in. Ladies and gentlemen, it is November 1. It's a little bit later than I normally meet you because I've been busy, as you've already seen. The rest of October 2 and the early part of November 1 has been spent doing contracts. The contract world has absolutely just kicked off. It's gone absolutely bonkers. So, money has been up and down. I have collected together today's used vehicles, which shall be repaired and sent back. So they're all here. Got quite a few actually. I don't know whether to keep this, you know. 230 horsepower? 230 horsepower and it costs 30 something grand. But I'm just thinking, do I need a small tractor? I'd probably need a bigger tractor. So these will all hook up onto this and I can take them over and we'll sell those. So I'll do that momentarily. Contracts ongoing at the moment. I have a cultivating contract for field 1 that is in progress, as you can see. Fertilising contract, field 6, that is in progress, pays out very well. Got a harvesting contract, which I haven't started yet, that's on field 7. Field 7 and 8 had, these were the two I said had soybean, and we're going to keep an eye on them because they'll be ready to harvest now, which they were. That one went straight from ready to harvest to harvested immediately. But that's one that, if we come back down to here, is showing as that cultivating job there is on field 8 for 49 grand. So we've got that available. We've got another fertilising job there available for 20 grand. We've got a sowing contract there for 30 grand. So what I'm going to do is when our cultivating is finished on field 1, I'm going to send the cultivator straight over to field 8, crack on with that. Because then hopefully as we move into the next period, what I was going to say was as well, my crop is growing next door, our sunflower is growing. Our alfalfa is in its first growth stage on our alfalfa field. So everything is doing what I was expecting it to. So what I'm going to do now is put a bit of fuel in my seeder, replenish the seed in that, ready to go. And then the harvester, I guess I'll just take straight out. I was considering getting a new harvester header actually. But I don't know. I might just keep the one I've got. We're not in a position to buy a new harvester at the moment. Not even to just replace this. I was thinking maybe just to buy a second one. I haven't got enough to buy a second one. I could replace this, maybe, but I think, you know what, once the contracts are done that we've got, we'll just, yeah, we'll crack right along. It'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, we're very autumnal at the moment, which is nice. Let's just top this up. This could do with some repair as well, but we shall see. Diesel, we're running low. Might have to top that back up again. Is it this end? Can't remember. Do I want to put the full lot in? No, we'll just put 1,000 litres in. Yep. There we go. So I guess, actually we'll finish off doing this bit first, because this needs jet washing as well. I can't remember how we did this before. It was the back of it, wasn't it? It was just barely the back of it to get seed, wasn't it? So let's back that over our seed, or under our seed, not over it. What am I talking about? Go to there, about there. Come on. How about now? Now. Now? How is that not working? Let's do it again. Anyway, yeah. So I'll see you in a bit. Because none of this was what I was intending to do, but I suppose some of the soybean harvest might be. I've done it again. It is November 2 and we are just gone 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to let the mist clear a little bit. We've got a cultivating job going on field 7 where we did the soybean harvest. We were left with a little bit of soybean, not a huge amount, but we were left with some. I'm going to take our bits and bobs from our grain mill, so our canola oil and our flour. We're going to take it down to the farmer's market in just a moment. Our alfalfa field is growing, and December 1 it should be ready for its first cut. I've been looking up and doing some research on alfalfa. I was just curious. I was actually looking for a thumbnail title and I was trying to find out some stuff about alfalfa. I think what we're going to add in now as well is some bees, because it says alfalfa and bees. Alfalfa seed production requires the presence of pollinators, which a lot of crops do. It talks about western honeybees, and this is fascinating. It's kind of funny and kind of clever. Western honeybees are most commonly used as a pollinator. Now, alfalfa is referred to as alfalfa most in North America. Other parts of the world, Europe, United Kingdom, it's often referred to as lucerne, or it can be referred to as alfalfa as well, but most commonly. But the western honeybee is used as a pollinator, but apparently it's not ideal, and this is bizarre. It says the pollen-carrying keel of the alfalfa flower trips and strikes the pollinating bee on the head, which helps transfer pollen to the foraging bee. Fair enough. I mean, that's there are all sorts of incredible ways that pollen gets spread and seeds get spread. We did a whole thing at school when I was teaching children about growth, and we did about pollination, and we did about seed dispersal and the ways that seeds get dispersed and pollen gets moved. It's fascinating how plants things adapt to their environments to get stuff spread for regrowing. Anyway, that being said, it goes on to say, western honeybees, however, do not like being struck on the head repeatedly. They have learnt to defeat this action by drawing nectar from the side of the flower. The problem with that being, they don't get any pollen. So when they go to the next flower to get the next sort of nectar, they don't transfer the pollen over, because they haven't got any pollen on them, because they've avoided it. So, and again, absolutely bonkers, younger bees haven't learnt that trick yet. They learn it by it happening over and over. So what a lot of beekeepers do when they are pollinating alfalfa is make sure the colonies they are using are mostly young bees, because they will transfer the pollen. As bees start to get older, they're then no good for doing that, because they've learned. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's absolutely crazy. So I'm going to put some bees in. Why not? We're going to put some beehives in. Up by the farmhouse, we'll put some beehives in. We've got enough money. That contract pays, was it 48 grand, whatever it was saying. So we'll be up over 600,000. I was also thinking about how I'm going to mow and sort my alfalfa out. That big field 60 alfalfa as well. So when that's ready to harvest, I'm curious to see whether it's going to give us a baling contract or whether it will just go straight from being done to harvested. I don't know. But so as we go into December, we'll be 2 months in, and I did my testing on grass and stuff before. The difference between leaving it 2 months and 3 months was negligible in the return you got on your grass. It does also say in the information about alfalfa that the first cut should be done before it goes to flower. I think it says just as it goes to head. I can't remember what it said now, but yeah. So what we'll do is as we go into December 1, it should be ready to harvest. I was going to use mowers and stuff, and then suddenly remembered a lot of people had said before when I did what map was it? I blanked, but it'll come to me. The alfalfa usually is done, and it does say in the details about alfalfa that harvesting is usually done using a swather with a windrow header. And I was looking at mowers and stuff, so I thought, you know what? Yeah, we'll do that. We'll buy a swather. That's what I've been building up the money towards, was to get a mowing rig. And I thought, well, we'll do a swather instead. So we're going to do a swather with a cutter bar. The difference being, I think the mowing rig I was going to get was out to about 12 metres, whereas the swather's only a 5 metre one. But it's more commonly used in this situation. See, let's carry on doing what we're doing. So I'm going to do that, and then I need to get myself a small tedder, because some's going to be hay, some is going to be grass, and then we're going to bale. And the other thing I'm going to do is swap out my baler. Oh, well, don't turn that on yet. Swap out my baler. I said I was going to do that for the selectable capacity baler. So I went for the round baler plus, which I thought was quite handy anyway. But what I'm going to do is sell that and then swap it out for a selectable capacity. Like I said, I'm not going to go crazy capacity. I'm not going to have like 50,000 litre bales. Maybe go 2 times or 4 times. Just so, like, again, with the bale limits we have on console, it means that I can get more of my field off and into bales and have less bales to store than if I left it at a normal bale size. I mean, that's the only reason really for doing it. It's not really... It doesn't gain me anything other than that, which is kind of like so on console. That really helps out a lot, especially when you're on a big map like this. You've got big fields and potentially a lot of baling opportunities, or you've got a lot of bales yourself. It just makes more sense. So we'll take this all off and we'll get that down to the farmer's market. I'm going to come back and put some beehives in. Our drying down of our corn's going really well. I did go up to the store and get another load of manure, which was what, 3,900. I also... Oh, this doesn't like it, does it? I need to be going in a straight line for this. That's quite heavy in it, to be fair, for this little thing, but that's all right. I also repaired... We should have been better off with our money than we are, because I did a couple of extra contracts. This needed repair, and that cost 30,400 and something. So because it's not charging you for repair, I did get the repair done, but then what I did was leased and returned a forage harvester, which was 31,000, I think it worked out at. So I did pay for my repair. I just wanted to be open and honest about that. It has been repaired, but I did pay for the repair this time rather than do the whole kind of, well, you know, if they're not going to bill me, that's on them kind of thing, you know. So I think what we'll do is, I might swap out the baler now. No, this is not liking this. I thought this would be alright, but it's just too much weight on that. So let's disconnect that, go and get the little white, I said the little white tractor, it's not little, is it? I thought this would be fine. For smaller stuff it's not too bad, but it's no good for the weight. I suppose I could grab that, because it seems to be right by it, but just park this up and grab the weight. And I'll deliver that. Oh dear, man, I'm having a right old time of it at the moment. We've got all sorts of stuff on the go and all sorts of stuff coming up, and I've had another time. The charity thing I talked about in the last episode, I had a Teams call. What, 3rd one or 4th one, to discuss different things we might be doing and that kind of thing, except I missed it. I was recording and I had some jobs to do, and I went out to do some errands, left my phone at home, nipped out, won't be long, boom, about an hour, came home, there's a message saying, are you going to join the Teams call? I was like, oh. By the time I got back, I'd missed it completely, so I apologise massively to the guys, and they rescheduled it for later in the day, and we did that anyway. My kids, and I know people, it's a difficult one. It's one of these things to talk about again. I don't want to use up all my time on the video because I want to skip ahead and I want to get the mowing done and some telling done and get some baling done in this episode. That's the plan. 3 of my kids work for JD Wetherspoons. They have all worked in the pubs at some point. One of my twin daughters now works at Wetherspoons head office, and the other 2 are both now managers. Silly G's just been promoted up into a managerial position at a pub, at an actual pub. So they work in hospitality. But anyway, Wetherspoons in the UK has got a reputation. To a degree, founded potentially, but I don't agree with it. It has a reputation of being a bit of a rough place. But then that being said, I'm not going to go into great detail, but there's been a few incidents recently that and they're still my kids. They're adults. I know they are, and they're working in a pub environment. Incidents in the pub, things happen all the time. You know, there are fights, there are arguments, there's people get barred. There's the usual sorts of things that happen in pubs. I mean, rougher sort of pubs potentially. But one happened last night, and again, I sat here and I'm trying to record, and I can't. My mind's just not focusing. I'm really struggling today. So Silly G comes home from work. She was working late, so she didn't finish till 2 in the morning. She comes down like really early, like 8 o'clock. Not 8 o'clock, it must be 9 o'clock. Crying her eyes out. And something had happened at the pub last night. I'm not going into details, but a patron of the pub, there was an argument, there was a fight. Silly G went over to sort it out and try and diffuse the situation, get people to calm down a little bit. 5 people having a row around her, and somebody got seriously hurt. And I'm not going into details. I mean, when I say seriously hurt, I mean like horrific injury, which she had to deal with. Police were called, ambulance were called, all that kind of stuff. And she came down here and she was sobbing. She stayed on shift as well, and she's going back in today. I mean, my kids, generally speaking, have dealt with stuff at that pub. At 52 years old, I've never had to deal with in my entire life. Things I would never want to deal with. Am I at the wrong place? This is the grain bit. Where's the bit for pallets and stuff? I might have to put the markers on. I can't remember where it is. Is it out the front or around the side? Let me just double check this. It should be just here. Yeah, things I have never had to experience, witness, deal with in my entire life, and they seem to be dealing with a more increased rate as well. I sat here talking to her, just letting her talk and talking with her and saying about things that she needs to talk about with the other managers and the overall pub manager, and Wetherspoons as a whole. I think talking with a bit more experience as a much older grown up, about things that I think they need to put in place and safeguards, and I don't know, I just find the whole thing really demoralising, that the state of society, that in a situation that escalates the way it did, the initial reaction was to turn to a form of violence which is just abhorrent, just absolutely, and has left one person with life-altering damage. I can't, honestly, I know it sounds ridiculous, I feel like I want to cry. It's just awful, absolutely horrific, and not just because, it was one of my kids that had to deal with it and was right in the middle of it all going on, but the calculated behaviour of the people afterwards, immediately they bolt, gone. But also taking evidence with them, knowing that, it's just honestly, I can't get my head around it. I can only imagine how it is for her trying to process the thing. I'm trying to process it in my head and find the whole thing horrific. I wasn't even there, but her description of it, just honestly, I don't know what's going on. I'm lucky I can kind of fall back on things like this. I can try to absorb myself in doing this, you know. That's why I don't like going out. When I said last episode about, you know, anxiety and stuff like that. Honestly, why? Anyway, I'm not trying to bring anyone down. I just, you know, like I've always done, I just talk about stuff that's on my mind. And you know, when people say to me, you know, oh, you haven't posted a video for a couple of days, and I say, oh, you know, family stuff, and when family stuff happens and you're dealing with it, you know, they're still my kids. They're adults. You know, when they come to me and they're upset and they want to talk about stuff, or something's happened, or something's really awful, or I'm not going to sit here and say, like, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you at the moment, I'm recording, you know, or I'm busy, or I need to do a video. Of course they come first. They have to come first. I just want to show you here, when I did that soybean contract, did we have some soybean from a previous one? No, we didn't. There you go. 28,000 litres of soybean we had left over from that soybean harvest that we did. Oh, you just saw me start it at that part of the last episode. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just a bit... Yeah. Anyway, let's put some bees in. Let's lighten the mood. Sorry, I just, you know... It's just a scary world, isn't it? A scary place to be. Anywho's, I thought we'd put some beehives up here. Up around the back bit here, so they can get out to the fields. Not necessarily right around the house, because, you know, when you try and have a nice barbecue and picnic and stuff, do you want to be swarmed with bees? Potentially not. But what ones am I going to put in? That is the question. And I've done beehives and other ones before, but I just thought, considering I was looking at the alfalfa situation, you know, it went on about bees. I thought, oh, you know what? I'm just trying to think, because that's a 33 Langstroth. I'm pretty sure, because these are a lot smaller. It says a 33. They're a lot smaller than the previous ones, and they're a lot cheaper as well. The previous ones, never 22, like 20 grand a pop for a 33. I don't think these produce as much honey. We have had a couple of modded ones. I'm thinking what I might do is install a couple of modded ones and put a couple of modded ones in as well. But I'm going to put a couple of these in. I know I did this on Riverbend as well. But I just think, you know what, we'll put a couple of these ones in. And then... maybe 3. That'd be 9 grand rat, and then I might put a couple of the other ones in as well. Let's put that in. There we go. So we're probably at the wrong time of year, because we are... Bees coming out of them? Oh, they are coming out. There we go. That's cool. I was going to say we are in November, but I suppose I haven't got seasons on, so they might not. Oh, I need to put in a placeable point. I'm just thinking I did have the racking. Have I not got that installed? No, I haven't got it selected. There was like the honey pallet racking. I might put that in as well. I'll put the links in the description, or not the links, but the things in the description, so you can see what it is I am using. So I'll see you in a bit. I'm going to get some more of those in, and I will probably now see you. Oh, we are contract complete on that field. So what we will do now is go up to here. We'll collect on that. I'm not going to... I get so bogged down. I want to get ahead now and get to the alfalfa. So I'm going to skip ahead definitely to November 1, maybe not November, December 1, maybe December 2. Depends if we get snow. If we get snow, it might be January. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do more contracts. I'm going to skip ahead. I want to be able to cut this. And like I say, get some hay bales done, get some silage bales done. Oh, that was the thing I was going to do now, was switch out my baler from the round baler plus to the selectable capacity baler. So I'll do that now as well, so the money should go down again. I'm too tempted when the juicy contract comes up. I'm like, oh, I could do that. I don't want to leave that. That's worth 60 grand. It's worth 70 grand. And it's all well and good, and I've said that many times before, but those ones are the ones that take like 3, 4, 5 hours. So I've got to stop doing it. Right, let's take this back. I only used this for doing the straw baling right back at the beginning, didn't I? So, yeah. I think the new one we're going to get doesn't have as many options for customization. I think it comes more like a standard John Deere. I'm going to go for the same one because I want a baler wrapper. But like I say, it will just give me the option for changing a few things. So, let's do that. Let's repair it. Sell it for nearly 100,000. That's all right. Because I'm pretty sure the new one is only... I say only 112, 100 and something. something. Let's go down to, where is it I want? So that's selectable bale capacity. There you go, 112. So that's technically only going to cost us another 12 grand on top, depending on what choices I make. I want a bale end turner, yes. I'm going to leave the tyres the same. Actually, I'm going to extend the width. It goes plus 2 metres, which just makes the pickup a little bit wider for larger swaths. It doesn't cost anything to do that. Leave the wrap the same as they are. License plate the same as it is. 115. There we go. That's not too bad, is it? We'll buy that. And then, like I say, that will then give us the option for... don't want to change the wrap colour. Black, green... Nature green. Empty. No, I don't want empty. Let's go nature green. Why not? Or is that going to blend in too much? Oh, we'll go. It doesn't matter. you don't need to see me. I'm in an hour about what I'm going to do. Right, let's go and collect that. And we'll take that over. Right. More beehives. That contract's complete, so I can get the chief back. I tell you what, the chief is looking a battle worn. I'm not going to lie. That thing has got some hours on it already. The amount of cultivating jobs that has done. That and that big old cultivator. Wow. We've got some hours. I mean, this little white's on 8 hours. What have I done? What have I done 8 hours on this on? But it has. It's easily done, like I say, when you're doing big old contracts. It's December 1. Of course it's snowing. Why would it not be snowing? It's been fine up to this. Glorious. We had a little bit of rain here and there. Into December 1, boom, snow. It's going to snow on and off a lot of the day. And I know, yes, I've got seasons turned off. So, you know, you have to kind of, yes, whilst we are in December, we're just going back to old school, you know, prior to seasons. This is how it always was. But it doesn't matter. You can kind of get away with it most of the time, but unfortunately, with the snow coming down, when you're harvesting stuff, yeah. So, extra beehives put in. They've gone a bit quiet now. So I put 3 of these in as well, it's the large ones. These are Missy Bee ones. And I put in this, which is part of a pallet storage system, which allow me to the step that the pallets will store upright rather than out on the flat. So, again, yeah, it's working, it's doing what it should be doing, so we're happy with that. We have got a little bit more flour, a little bit more canola oil, which I was expecting. As you can see, the money's gone right down. I have already purchased the swather with windrower mower header, and I have got a little light hay bob tedder. Actually, that's what I was going to do. I was going to bring over the Xylon, and I thought, actually, our little Kubota's got a 3-point hitch on the back. That's a 48 horsepower, 50 horsepower, something like that. And this only requires 20 horsepower or 28. So I could actually do the tedding with the Kubota. We can give that a go. Why not? So yeah, I've got that. So what we're going to do is start off with our mowing. And like I say, we are ready to harvest. If you leave it another month, so if I went through into January, the grass would be taller. It will go up another growth stage because we are only in whichever growth stage we're in. I can't remember now. It's saying ready to harvest, but it will grow a bit thicker, deeper. But like I say, when I did my testing on that, I really thought it would make far more difference than it did. So we are reverse at the moment, or the right way around, depends the way, for driving down the road to get our beacons on, since the weather's a bit inclement and it's hard to see. The road is mildly damp, let's just say that. Snow doesn't help with this, does it? Oh, dearie me. Anyway, can I get through? I think I've realised what I've done here. Oh no, I have a gap there. I've put the beehives in with just the right awkward spacing that I can't actually get between any of the gaps with equipment and machinery. That was clever, wasn't it? So turn the beacons off, now we're in the field. Let's switch, actually we'll switch round. Which way do I want to go up the field? Actually, we'll go this way. I hope this works. I'm sure this says it does alfalfa. I think the baler should bale it. We're testing alfalfa. Let's just say that. Let's get the front lights on. Yeah, it's not too misty, so all right. I don't think we need to actually put it on to swath. I think it just swaths, doesn't it? We're going to put our things on, and we're just going to go for it. It's quite a long field. There we go. So we are alfalfaing. Alfalfa, Brainy bees, and bales, I guess. XL bales. The Brainy bees only because we're using those special ones that are clever and they learn. They don't want to get bonked on the head by the alfalfa plants. I've never heard of anything like it. But anyway. Now this is going to take quite a while at 9 miles an hour. And like I say, the mower package I was going to use was the Kongskilde one. And that's 12.5 metres. So over double what this would be doing. I could be doing in one pass and possibly a little bit faster. But this is more realistic for doing alfalfa. So, you know, shall I hire a worker to do this? I suppose that would make more sense, wouldn't it? If I hired a worker, then I came behind this with the baler. So what I'm going to do is, the whole lot is going to be done. Half the field I'm going to ted. So half it will be hay, half it will be grass, which will be turned into silage bales. I'm still going to have to wait for those bales to be fermented. No difference if I put all this stuff into a silage clamp. And then we'll be able to sort out cows, because then we'll have all the things we need for doing total mixed ration. So absolutely spot on. I'm recording this at a separate time. Apologies for earlier on. I don't mean to bring anyone down, bring people's moods down, because you know, it's supposed to be light-hearted. You're watching Farming Simulator and you're talking about awful stuff. It's just what's going on. It's you know, it's in the world around us, and it's, you know, I don't know. And I keep saying I don't know. What do you say? What do you say? You know. It's not right, but it is what it is. Right, so then we're going to do, I forgot to widen the old doodads. Nothing worse than narrow doodads. You want your doodads wider. Where are we going? And we're off. Right, I'll hop out. So, let's go and grab the baler, because these are going to be your silage bales. I want to get the silage bales going first, because they can be fermenting straight away. I mean, not this. We're talking about an hour maybe of getting all this processed. I don't know how many we're going to get. I have set, like I said, the selectable bales baler. You've got a 125 centimetre bale, which is your standard bale. Then it goes 121, 122, 124, is it? And then 129. So you've got a standard size. You've got a 2 times size, a 4 times size, and a 9 times size, which is the 122, 124, 129. So I've gone 122. So we should get double the bale size we normally get. So if the grass bales are usually 3,500 or 4,000, they'll be 7,000. So, I mean, I'm just saying, should I go 4 times? Because we really do need to save as much space as we possibly can, realistically. So what I am surprised about as well, that field here, I'm going to say that, and it's going to have come up, isn't it? Got a sowing contract on the field we did the cultivating on a while back. Yeah, I thought we'd get something come up on field 6 for a baling contract or something. Maybe we'll at some point, I don't know, because that might be quite handy if we get silage bales. So I'm considering, if I do silage bales, which I'm going to do first, should we go larger so we can store more? I might go to 124s. Potentially. Where's me white? I put it away. Forgot I was going to do baling. Absolute buffoonery. So let's go. Yeah, I'm going to try the. I think for the tedding, we'll give that a go, and then we'll bale the hay bales. We should be fine with that. Let's get the light on that. So at the moment, actually, let's double check this. So at the moment we are bale size 122. If I press it again, yeah, 124, 129. There's just say, yeah, 125 is a standard bale size, and 121. I'm not sure whether that's standard as well. 22. We'll go 24. That should be right, I think. We will find out, won't we, momentarily. Can I get down the side of that? Probably. Let's get that turned on. That dropped down. How do I know? Doesn't bottom right normally tell you how much you've got in it? Let's turn on automatic drop as well. So it's not telling me bottom right. It is picking it up. This is baling it. Because I don't know, how do I know when to... How did it use all that net? What? How is the net roll empty? What has gone wrong here? I'm showing no capacity, and it's used all the net roll. That's not normal. Let's do it from standard net film binding. Standard net. 400. I think there's something wrong with this. Is it not supposed to do alfalfa? Yeah, look how quick the net's going down. Oh, what? There are too many, but I don't understand. I haven't made a bale. What's going on? There are too many bales. Well, the world has turned on its head. I don't know what happened. I have no idea what went wrong. So we have sold that baler back, bought back the one we had before, or another version of the one we had before. If we jump back in the tractor now, we'll be showing that it's showing a capacity down there. So hopefully this works. That mod has been disabled, deselected, incinerated, shot into orbit. I have never seen the like. Never seen the like. Let's turn this on, drop this down. Saying alfalfa, look, bottom right. You know that thing where you get so used to seeing something. When I started going forward in the baler, in my brain, I immediately looked down to bottom right. I looked down and thought, oh, that's weird. There's no capacity showing. It wasn't showing alfalfa, it wasn't showing grey, it wasn't showing anything. Well, that's weird. Why would it not do that? My concern now is this is going to put alfalfa bales out the back and not wrap them. It should do. We've got a capacity. That's good. I set for the again. I then thought, brilliant stuff. Well, let's set the worker off again, then get that cracking away. What does the worker do? The line it was on previously, that the worker was off. It went. No, it decided it's going to go in one and go. I don't know. I don't understand what is happening. So. Yeah, any bits I miss I'll come back and collect. So this means they're only giving what 3,500 litre barrels rather than 7,000 litre barrels, which means we are going to have please wrap. Whoa, you know what, that was something that was on the original TaylorFarms maps, that the bale net came out with the stars and stripes on it. It is wrapping, that's cool. So I think what we're going to do to save on the bale situation, we're going to have quite a lot of bales. Bearing in mind we've got, how many did we have? 76 was it? Straw bales? I can't remember how many we put in there now. Into our bale and pallet storage over there, and then the rest was done loose. I think our hay, we might have to get a forage wagon and do it loose. I think that's going to be the way to do it. I know the snow's not ideal. Should have gone for. Gee, why did I go for this one? Oh, because that's a wider thing, and you can unload unfinished bales. And what was the other reason? I didn't change the net wrap, the wrap again this time. Changed the colour. I left it white. There's the Vicon fast bale. I forgot all about that, isn't there? I could have used that. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll just crack on. I'm just looking up here thinking, where's the swather gone? But 3,500 litre barrels, this is going to take a while. It had to be the other mod. I don't know why though. When I used that when I did the mod review on it, it was fine. So why would it now not work? I don't... If that swath has gone in the ditch at the end, I'm going to be really annoyed. Well, it's doing headlands, isn't it? So it should be... Where has it gone? I don't know. Right, let me get some of these bales done. And then the other half of the field that gets mowed will Ted. I did bring over the tedder on the back of the Kubota. The Kubota doesn't have a PTO, so it can't run it. I mean, it could run it if you weren't bothered about that kind of thing. I could run it, but it doesn't look right, so I'm not going to. Oh, there it is. There we go. It's coming down the other side. Oh, this is going to be way too much. Way too many. We are going to hit a bale limit, which I've got to be really careful of. That was why I was intending to use that other one. I don't know what happened with that. That's so strange. So strange. To be fair, the speed that's going, we should catch up with it. I've got to stop waiting for it to finish wrapping. I don't need to, do I? Once it's out the back and the door's closed, we can crack on. Oh, what a day. There we go, another one. I mean, it's good. I'll say this. The alfalfa is prolific in the amount we're getting off this. I think what we might actually end up doing is not silage wrapping as much as I think we're going to, not do as many bales, so we might end up tedding far more of the field. To be fair though, I do need a lot of silage, so I don't know whether I need to put in a silage clamp somewhere. Maybe that's an alternative. Potentially, yeah, I need to think about that. Oh, that was something I was supposed to test and I didn't test it. I suppose we can test it, can't we? There's nothing to stop us testing to see whether or not alfalfa will go into a clamp. I know on Alma, Missouri, you know what I said earlier? I'd blanked and it would come back to me Alma. When I did Alma, there were silage clamps on Alma that were done specifically for alfalfa, but I don't know if that's the case. We'll find out, I suppose. Right then. How many do I do? 10 bales will be 35,000 litres. I think what I need to do is go over and check on my storage, because I can't remember how many bales we had, so I can work out just how many we can get away with. And again, I need to keep an eye on that field to see if a contract comes up. There we go, sowing one for 40,000, 43,000, that was on there before. I just thought that we might get a baling contract come up on the other one. So yeah, I don't know. Right. Onwards. It is now 11 o'clock. I went in for a cup of tea because it suddenly dawned on me it was snowing. I don't know if it's the same for grass. I'm not sure if it is. When it's raining and snowing usually, if you try and harvest in rain or snow, you take a hit on the yield. And I suddenly thought my... where's it gone? My swather is doing its thing in the rain, but am I going to get worse yield because it's raining? I've never actually tested that with grass. But that being said, I'm getting incredible yield anyway. Like, you can see how close together these bales are. Admittedly, they're only 3,500s, but if this was grass, I don't think I'd be that close together compared to the alfalfa. The bales are showing as alfalfa at the moment, but they are fermenting, so they will ferment to silage. I think our swather is going the other side. It did come back up and do the outside row, so it was doing the headlands first, then it will do the inside. I've got 72 straw bales in that side, in the bale storage. So I think what I'm going to do is 100, which will give me 350,000 litres of silage, which will get us going, at least to start off with, in a total ration mix with hay and some straw thrown in there as well. That should last a little while, but I am still considering a silage clamp. But that being said, in 3 months, 2 months, which that silage will last, this grass will have regrown again. So we could then look down the silage clamp route maybe, but it might take a month or so for that to ferment. But that being said, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, or we'll destroy the bridge, or we'll do something with it. But I just thought I'd explain that's why we are where we are at this moment, and then what we'll hopefully finish off doing. I don't know if I'll get all of this done, but I'll once the swather starts going up the centre sections, I'm going to try the tedder and make sure it teds properly. So I'm hoping that because the swather puts them into swaths like this, that little hay bob tedder will keep the swaths fairly tight. So if we do use a forage wagon, and we can always come and windrow it. If we have to, we can come and windrow it back up again. It's not a problem, but I thought using a hay bob tedder might be a little bit easier than using a wider one, which will spread it over a much bigger distance. So that at least is the plan. How that all turns out, I have no idea. And of course I did my usual brilliant stuff. Once I've mowed this, once we've got the hay, once we've got the silage bales, let's get cows. But I can't because I've got to ferment all this first. I forgot about fermenting, didn't I? Ugh, you know what I'm like. Get too excited, I jump ahead of myself, and you know, I forget what I was supposed to be doing. So again, we will get there. I think our sorghum field next door is going to be ready to go probably next month. I would say probably January, which is great. I think what we might end up doing is we might do a big old chicken pen, maybe. Although I'm trying to think, why I did sorghum. Was it the pig food recipe that I was looking at originally? There have been so many total mix ration and pig food manufacturing facilities and silos and things come out, and I can't remember which ones were which and which ones I originally looked at. So yeah, I have to go back and do a bit of research. Some time has passed. I have hit my 100 bale, not limit, but what I've decided I was going to do. So that's 350,000 litres of silage, which is now fermenting. You see all the bales up there. The bales are all ring the edge. Now, we have barely scratched the surface of the alfalfa. So I'm definitely considering a silage clamp, but we're going to do some hay now. So I'm going to do a load of hay. I'm leaving the swathers carrying on. It's only dawned on me as well, having bought the swather. As we get some more crops and stuff of our own, we should be able to then do some swathing of our crops, which should give us was it a 20% bonus for when we do swathing? Something like that, isn't it? 15 and 20% bonus. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this up, fold bale, lift pickup, put this away for the time being. We did alright. The bale, unlike the previous version, the bale net, we're down to 2 out of 4, just under 2 out of 4, and the same with our bale wrap. So those will need to be replenished at some point, but the stuff that came with it, we've managed to get our 100 bales done. I say no problem. Yeah, no problem at all. Let's say no problem at all. For the time being, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take out the xylem with the little tedder on the back, start tedding, and again, the plan for that was hopefully it will keep the swaths fairly intact. It might spread them a little bit. If it does, fair enough. So I've got to now look at what I'm going to do about collecting all that. I could go down the route like I did when I did the straw. We got a forage wagon, so we could get a forage wagon, or we could get the lizard forage pickup on a tractor with the trailer. We could do that, which I've done previously. I've done it both ways. I've also taken on this contract. This was a weird one because of what happened. I guess you probably already guessed when we swapped over between the baler that wasn't working and the new baler. Luckily, I hadn't saved the game, so I went back to my previous save to come back in again. This contract originally, this sowing contract, was for carrots, and I ignored it because the vegetable planters, seeders, are quite small, and it would take a long time. unless I ran multiple ones, and I don't own one, so I'd have to lease one, which is fine. When we came back in again, that had swapped, and this contract was available as sowing, but it had changed to wheat rather than carrots. So I thought, you know what, we've got our gear, let's get on it. It's another 43 grand, plus it's another wheat field, which later on down the line could come in handy when it's ready to harvest. So that's what we're doing. But so, yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, we can. I don't. Oh, did I uninstall? I bet I uninstalled it, didn't I? Like the muppet that I am. Oh, we got these ones, haven't we? The Titan Supers. What were the capacities of these? Because there were some capacities in between, weren't there? Weren't there? 45,000 litres. That's not to be sniffed at. 103 grand, actually. Do I want to lease or buy? Probably lease. If we went for the unrealistic, I think it is only 45, and then because we've got different. Where's our brands cover capacity standard? 150,000. See, that's not too bad actually. I might go for that. That's not ludicrous, and we could then go from there to 500,000, then up to 1 million, and then 5 million litres. But 45 or 150, I'm happy with that. I think we might go with one of those. We'll lease it, because I think we're going to have a fair bit of hay. So I think we'll probably do that. I'll lease one of those. At the start of the next episode, there'll probably be some footage of me using that. But what we've got to do now is actually see if this works how I intended it to. Get some hay work done. The other thing I haven't checked as well is how we're looking on used vehicles. Oh, good grief. Okay. Wowzers. That's probably not a bad idea, is it? Not to keep, just to buy and sell on. That will give us a tidy little profit. Let's buy that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Cultivator 8.4 meters. I mean, technically, it might not be a bad idea to have another cultivator. So when cultivating jobs come up, we could run two. It's way cheaper than buying one brand new, isn't it? I might just buy that to have, you know? Possibly the profit from these. You know what? I'm going to buy that and decide what I'm going to do with it. That one we've got a lorry so we can swap that out. We'll buy that. We'll swap that out. So I'm just thinking the profit made from these could pay for that cultivator. So you know what? Why not? I'll do that as well. I'll sell those off camera. We'll sort those out. But what I need to do now... Oh, starting the engine would be a good start. Yeah. It would be a good start. Oh dear. Another day has gone by. We're in that, you know, I'm in that situation. Every time I get to a bit where I think, okay, I'm good to go, we'll be absolutely golden now. I think we need to follow, where are we? We were coming down this road, weren't we? You know, I've got a little bit left to record, and then Giants drop the next lot of mods, or, you know, there's always something. But we're getting there. We are getting there. As I keep saying, I'm just trying to remember to remind everybody, next week, on Monday, myself and MrSealyp are going away Monday to Friday to Nina and Brian's farm. So we should be doing some lambing live. We should have some live streams. I'm going to do some recording, so there'll be hopefully a video. Let's do that and do that. There's no adjustment on this. No. But hopefully it doesn't spread it out too far. It's all right, actually. It's a little bit wider than I hoped. But then potentially... So I'm not going to bale this because we've got 72 bales already, 100 bales here. That's 172. I know our bale limit is fractionally higher, if I recall, when I did my bale testing when the game first came out, but it's still around the 200 mark. It's nothing ludicrously higher or anything like that. So I know people keep saying to me you should go on and use your G-Portal servers, and if you go on and do it on one of the servers, then you wouldn't have a limit and that kind of thing. I know, but for ease of use, for jumping on quickly, and again, I keep saying, you know, what I'm used to, I'm an absolute nightmare for just sticking to what I'm used to, I know. You know what I'm like. And also, I'm representing console gamers. It would be, not disingenuous, but it would be a bit weird if I'm saying, don't forget the bale limit and talk about the bale limit. And, you know, those bales I've just done, the 100 bales, had that other baler worked on 4 times bale size, I would have the same amount of silage, but only in 25 bales, not in 100. Which would be perfect if you've got a bale limit to worry about. So that's what I'm saying. If I then went on to use a server, I'm talking about bale limits on console, but then I don't have any. But like I say, if you are on console and you want to avoid those, G-Portal, I don't mention them enough, and I should be mentioning them more when I do my videos. I'm in trouble. G-Portal servers, affordable, usable, friendly service from the guys there. Very helpful, straightforward and easy to set up. There's a link in the description. You should get a discount if you're interested. And that does help with a lot of those things. I know when I have game crashes, although to be fair, touch wood, and just touch my little table, I haven't had a game crash in ages. Since the last update, I haven't had one. So, you know, again, that's another one of the things that can alleviate, because on the server it saves the previous, you know, it saves it all there. So you can always roll back to a previous one even if you haven't saved it, or, you know. So, yeah, if you're considering one, there is a link in the description if you want. But yeah, that's just the Bale sort of situation. So yeah, I'm glad this is working. It has spread it a little bit wider than I maybe hoped it would, because I think once I do each row, because the swath is not very wide, these are going to almost blend into each other. So I think what I might need to potentially do, I say might need to potentially do, I think what I'm going to do, let's just turn it off for a second. I'm going to go into here. No, I was in the right one, wasn't I? I'm going to go to here, and let's go and we'll grab a windrower. I think if we can windrow a load together, again, we'll just lease it. What's that one? 9.7. That's fancy pants, that one. 14 meters. And get some big old windrows together. There's a whole load to choose from here, aren't there? And there are more as well. But if we lease that, do I want spare wheels and curtains and all that stuff? No, 4,822, worth every penny. Like I say, we're going to make money on selling all that equipment. We're going to make the 43 grand when we finish that week contract. So I think as these will all slightly blend together, I'll be able to windrow maybe 2, 3, 4 windrows. I'm just looking at the width behind me. Maybe 4 windrows together. So actually, you know what I'm going to do? I need to just double check my time. Actually, I'm probably nearly out of time. We'll do that start the next episode. We'll get the windrowing done and stuff, so I won't get all this work finished. Start the next episode, we'll collect up our bales, we'll do the windrowing, we'll pick up with the, like I say, I'll get one of those Titan forage wagons, and we'll pick it all up, and all the loose hay we will put into, the colour of the hay is really strange, isn't it? We'll put the hay into our large silo in with the loose straw we got as well. So it's kind of acting as our hay loft. I mean, it's a multi-fruit silo, so it's taking everything at the moment, which is absolutely perfect. So, I mean, we've done what we set out to do. Was it without its hiccups? No. But, you know, it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you're sticking with me. If you are, if you have, thank you. Please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do, as always, enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for watching.